Hello and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. My name is Issachar Bey and I am the director and I am also the host. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and joining our channel today. If this is your first time, we want to welcome you. Please let us know what city, what state, and what country you're listening in from. We want to thank all of you for your consistency with listening to us, and we're glad that all of you are able to get something out of these teachings. We are excited about your future. We're excited about so many different things. If you want, before we get started or as we're getting started, those of you that want to, there is a download that is attached to today's teaching. You can just click on the link in the description and you can get download you a copy so that you will be able to follow us, and you also have it for the continuation, because this is going to be like a series and we're going to be teaching from this. So if you want to go ahead and get a download, you can click on the link in the description that should say create your roadmap to life. And you will be able to go ahead and download and get you a copy of that download. We want to thank all of you for tuning in. Listen, I want you to get in a quiet position as we get ourselves centered, as we move into a level of clarity, a level of stability, and a level of elevated consciousness. I want you to take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Once again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. I turn within to the infinite presence, the all-knowing, the all-guiding intelligence that governs the universe in perfect order, direction, and purpose. This presence is the source of all wisdom and the architect of every divine plan. I recognize that I am one with this presence, and therefore the wisdom and clarity of spirit are available to me now as I chart the course of my life. I affirm now that I am not wandering aimlessly through existence. I am here by divine appointment, with purpose and a path uniquely designed for me. I declare that I have the power and the clarity to create a roadmap for my life, aligning my deepest desires with the guidance of infinite mind. I affirm that my roadmap to life is created with the intention and faith. I see my destination clearly, and I set goals that align with my purpose, passion, and divine calling. I trust the process, knowing that each step is revealed as I take it, and that the law of spirit meets me at every point along the way. I claim discipline, commitment, and courage to follow the roadmap I create. I am not moved by temporary detours, for I know the infinite always redirects me to the path of my highest good. I walk this path with joy, gratitude, and expectancy, knowing that every experience is a part of my unfolding journey. I release this word into the law, knowing it is already done. My roadmap is clear, my steps are sure, and my life unfolds in divine order and purpose. And so it is, and so it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who's listening for being a part of today. We're starting a new series, and of course you can see in the actual thumbnail that we're talking about creating a roadmap, the roadmap to life, the compass. You know, we're getting into a lecture now, where we're getting into a season now where I believe it's time for us to put some things together. We see what's happening in the world. We see what's going on. And regardless of what's going on outside of our control, I think that there needs to be a sense of direction, a sense of stability that needs to happen in our lives. And so we're going to be talking about creating your roadmap to life. Listen, if this is your first time listening, please hit the like button. Everybody who can, hit the like button. Also, if you can, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We are on a campaign to get 1,000 subscribers, hopefully within the next couple of months, if not sooner. Also, I want to encourage you, those of you who are listening. We have a download that's connected to this teaching for this particular series. If you want to go ahead and grab that, it's a download. You click on the link and download it, and you'll have access to it. You can work with it this week. It kind of coincides with what we're learning today, and so I want to make sure that everybody has access to that, and that you are connected with us. And I want to thank all of you for being a part. When I talk about creating a roadmap to life, one of the things I look at is the word map. And I've always said to myself, we know what a map is. A map is, before we had the internet and all this stuff, there used to be something called Quest Map where you had to print it out. And if you were traveling, you would print out the Quest Map, and they would tell you, 50 miles, make a left, 30 miles, make a right. They would tell you to, go this X amount of miles and exit on this exit ramp and all of this stuff. And you had to follow the map. You're looking at a map of the world. You're looking for destinations. You're looking for where we're going and how far does it take us to get there and what are the directions to get there. I believe that everybody needs to have a map in their life. I don't think that we should just be living and going through life just whatever happens, happens. But I believe that success and greatness happens on purpose. And if that in fact is true, then I have to live in purpose, which means everything I do, every move I make, every direction I go into, I need to do it in purpose, not by mistake, not by accident, not maybe shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I need it to happen in purpose. And so when I look at the word map, I look at the word M stands for mastery, A stands for assignment, and P stands for pathway. Mastery is having the control over yourself. It is the conscious cultivation of your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and reactions so they serve your highest purpose. See, in the word map, that word M stands for mastery, which means that everything we do in life, we ought to be operating in mastery. Mastery means that I'm operating at the highest level. I'm operating in a level of mastery, which means that I'm in control of my destiny. Mastery is not about controlling the world. It's about controlling how you respond to the world. I said this earlier. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we see what's happening in the world. We see all of the things that are happening. We see how things are unfolding with our government. We see all of these things that are happening. But in the midst of all of that, ladies and gentlemen, you still have the ability to live and to live in purpose and to operate in your destiny. I know it may seem a little discouraging. It may be very difficult to stand and watch some of the things, but listen, you still have the ability to live the life that you've always wanted to live. You still have that ability. And so when we operate in mastery, we understand that mastery is really replacing reactive patterns with conscious choices. When you master something, you're not looking to receive. You're not looking to react. You're actually in a position of choosing. You're in a position of manifesting. You're in a position of operating as to what I want, not just accepting what comes your way. It is the daily practice of what I call mental alchemy, transforming fear into faith, doubt into determination, and confusion into clarity. Mastery is guarding your focus at your most sacred resource, knowing energy flows where attention goes. And so if our attention is on creating a map, then we understand that if my attention is on creating this map, then my energy is going to flow with it. I am the master of my mind, the guardian of my focus, and the alchemist of my emotions. Yes, the A inside of MAP represents assignment. Your assignment is your purpose for this season, your unique calling and contribution to the world that aligns with your spiritual destiny. Yes, that aligns with your spiritual destiny. Everyone has an assignment, but many ignore it, living in survival instead of significance. Your assignment is tied to your gifts, experiences, and passions. It will stretch you. It requires faith and trust. I am clear of my divine assignment and walk boldly in it. See, when you're creating a map, and we said this, maps are what we lay out to get to the destinations that we're going to. That's why it's so important that you know who you are. You know what your gifts and your talents are. You know what your purpose is. Because now if you know what your purpose and your destiny is, now you're creating a map on how can I utilize and put myself in a position to win? How can I become a better version of myself? How can I put me and my family in a better position by operating in mastery and also operating in what I'm assigned to do? That's why some of you who are lost, some of you who are trying to find out what is my purpose in life, you need to connect with me. We need to sit down and have a consultation, and we can look into some things. The P in MAP represents pathway. Your pathway is your unique journey towards fulfilling your assignment while embodying mastery, faith, and consistency. No two pathways are the same. Your journey is designed for your soul's growth. Your pathway will have its hills and its valleys, but faith and consistency will keep you moving forward. So when you begin to understand the concept of the MAP, the mastery, assignment, and pathway, it gives you a little bit more intricate detail of understanding of what are we here to do. I'm here to master, to walk in mastery. I'm here to make sure that I'm walking in the assignment, and then I understand that there's going to take a pathway for me to get there. No two pathways are the same. What you did and how you got to where you are, I can't follow that because my path is going to be different from your path. We're not the same. I can't piggyback off of you. I can't try to become a duplicate of you. I can only be an original of who I am. A map is not a paper and ink. A map is your mind and intention. It is your consciousness giving structure to your desires. A map is a mirror of your mind. It reflects where you are and where you're going. A map is a frequency, encoded intention. Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows, and your map shapens. Yes, when you focus on your map, where am I going? I want to, many people will say, in life, where you going? I was born in Brooklyn, New York City. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, in Bed-Stuy. In 2005, I decided to leave New York, and I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. When I moved to Las Vegas, I was following an assignment. I was following my purpose, and Las Vegas is where the Temple of Enlightenment was created. I began to walk in my destiny and follow my purpose. After some years, After walking in that assignment, the path led me into San Antonio, Texas, where I now reside, right? And so there's coming a moment where I may soon depart from here and move to another place. So we understand the assignment. We understand your ability to put your focus on it. A map is a living document. It expands as your consciousness expands. Yeah, you understand that there is no separation between you and your map. That's why your map is a mirror. And that's why you need to understand your purpose, your destiny, have a level of self-awareness. Because when you do that, you will now begin to operate in your map. See, a lot of us, if we don't know who we are, if we don't know where we're going, we will follow other people. We will let other people tell us what to do and where to go and how to be. And you can be very frustrating because you don't know who you are. You don't have any connection with your destiny and your purpose. So to get out of that, we have to learn who we are. We have to move into a level of mastery, assignment, and pathway. A map is permission to exist in alignment with your divine plan. That's good. Let me say that again. A map. When we create our maps, what we're doing is giving permission to exist in alignment with your divine plan. A map activates your reticular activating system, RAS, to notice opportunities, connections, and steps that align with your chosen path. Remember, a map simply externalizes what is already encoded within you. You know, people will say, well, you know, I've made it this far and I didn't have any map. I didn't, have any, kind of structure. I made it this far. I feel like I'm doing good in my life. I feel like, I've done good with my life, and that's fine. But, we were put into this life on purpose. Everybody was on purpose. I know some people may think their being born was a mistake or it was an accident, but there's no mistakes, there's no accidents in life. You were put here on purpose. And if that in fact is true, then we ought to be operating for the reason and for the purpose that we came into this incarnation. And some may say, well, why do we need a map? Why do I need a map in my life? I've been living thus far. I've been doing everything without it. And so now this guy, Issachar Bey, comes out of nowhere and he's telling everybody that they need to have a map for their life. And why do you need a map? I'm glad you asked. Without a map, you waste energy in circles. Without a map, you attract distractions disguised as opportunities. Without a map, others will assign you to their map, making you a passenger in their dream. Yes, that's why I said earlier, if you don't have a clear understanding of who you are, you don't have a clear understanding of your purpose and a clear viewpoint of self-awareness, you can be confused and you can start following other people and helping other people with their map and not realizing that you have your own. There's no greater time as the presence. There may be somebody listening right now that may be saying, you know what, this is blowing my mind because all my life I've been helping everybody else with their map, not realizing that I have my own map, not realizing how much value, how much purpose, how much destiny was inside of me, and that I didn't need to help other people with their map, but I needed to activate my own. I needed to activate my own map. And so when you begin to understand that and look at that from that perspective, it definitely takes you to a different level. A map reduces anxiety and confusion because confusion is not knowing what to do, not knowing where you're going. And when you're confused, you know, a lot of things come into play. But a map alleviates a lot of these things. A map gives you intentions, precision. It gives you what you intend, your intention, um, what you are manifesting, what are you bringing into fruition, the things that you're going after. It gives it precision. A map aligns your thoughts, feelings, and actions toward your true calling. A map creates daily accountability, ensuring you are moving, not just hoping. You know, when you have a map, you actually, I tell people all the time, writing is the first level of manifestation. When you put something down on paper, it's almost like you are, really moving and elevating and creating something of great abundance. And so what happens is, I don't just want to hope that I'm in the right path, or hope that my map is working, or hope that I'm going in the direction. But when I create the map, I'm not just hoping anymore. I'm actually in motion. I'm moving. And so it puts me into a place where I begin to look at this. Remember, hope without a map is a hallucination. That's what it is, a hallucination. Hallucination. I don't want to hallucinate by hoping, wishing, and I don't have a map. I have to have a sense of direction. I have to have a sense of where am I going in life. And also, when you have a map, ladies and gentlemen, it really gives you the momentum. Because, you know, we look at whether you want to use your vision board, but we're going to get into how the map works in this series, and what do you do and how you compile it. But what I want to get to you is, I just wanted you to get the understanding of why we're operating in this way and what the map is for. And, you know, people would say, I've been living this long in my life, I've never had a map. But it could change some things. It could give you a sense of direction. It could give you some momentum. It can give you the opportunity to really make some strides and make some things in your life to go forward. It could really take you to another level. It could really increase your territory by allowing you to become more fruitful and begin to multiply and become a better version of yourself. And more importantly, to walk in your purpose. I think that it's so, I think one of the most disappointing things in life is to see somebody who's not walking in their destiny or not operating in their purpose. And I believe that we need to change that narrative, and we need to start operating in our purpose and operating and walking in our destiny. The map is the bridge that takes us into a higher level of consciousness. A lot of you want to do a lot of things in life. Put it on the map. A lot of you want to do some things and get some things in your life. You may want to buy a house and a car. You may want to go to college and get another degree. You may put those things, but the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is operating in your purpose and your destiny. Because when you're operating in your purpose and your destiny, and you begin to start mapping things out, it's going to all fall into place. There's no mistakes. There's no accidents. Everything will fall right into place. When it falls into place, you'll be right there connected, because you will already be connected from your purpose and your destiny. And so that's why you constantly hear me beating a dead horse. Is to let you guys know that you have to move in a level of self-awareness. Everybody needs to know who they are. When I say that, what do you mean to know who I am? To know why you are the way that you are. Why do you feel the way that you feel? Why do you operate and think the way that you think? Why the family you were raised in, the beliefs that you have, all of the gifts, the talents that you have. Those are things that you need to know. Why am I wired and shaped and molded the way that I am. There's a purpose. There's a reason for that. When you understand that reason and that purpose, you now begin to operate in that. I don't try to copycat somebody on this side or somebody on that side, but I put myself in a position to where I'm able to grow and expand and really make some things happen. So it's a really good thing to really look into. The map is powerful. It's a powerful entity. When you create your life map, you save time, energy, and resources because you know where you're going, and when you know where you're going, you know what you need. When you know what you need, you're not just throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. You're not over exemplifying your energy. You're not, oh, let me run 100 yards east in order to come back 100 yards west. Let me not go 400 miles north only to come back 400 miles south. You move in precision. You move in knowledge and wisdom because you don't have to do anything. So that's the power of it. It's going to save you time, energy, and resources. It's going to allow you to move with confidence because you understand where you're going and you know where you're going. Now, listen, a map, as I said earlier, is a living document. So understand, as you evolve, so does the map evolve. Why? Because the map is a mirror. It's a mirror. So as you evolve, so will the map evolve. It's not like I'm just creating a map and then it changes. And so you get to understand that if anybody now if you ever been driving with a GPS and the GPS is showing you the map and you're driving and the GPS may tell you to exit off exit 10, but when you get to exit 10 is blocked off. They're doing construction. So what the GPS will do is reroute you. It will reroute you. Now listen, you're still going your same destination. We still know where we're going. We know where we're going to end up at. But through the course of life, there will be some rerouting done. Yes. Yes. I know you want to go this place and I know you want to go there, but sometimes things happen in life. Sometimes things happen outside of my control. I don't have any control over exit 10. So what happens is I have to reroute my position in order to get to my destination of where I'm going. Same thing happens in life, ladies and gentlemen. Things will happen outside of your control, and yes, you will have to reroute and make some adjustments. But it doesn't stop that I'm still moving and operating in my purpose, and I'm still going to my desired destination. The power of a roadmap gives you the inner peace, even through challenges. Because, yes, it's going to be a challenge if I have to now get rerouted because exit 10 would have put me right there. As soon as I exit 10, where I'm going is like 0.0 miles, right? But now that I got rerouted, it's going to take me out 10, 15 miles now to come all the way back around again. But guess what? Because you know where you're going, it gives you an inner peace. There's no getting upset. There's no I'm upset. I'm distraught because I had to reroute. I had to make an adjustment. No, because you know where you're going, ladies and gentlemen. The most frustrating thing in life is to just be living and not knowing where you're going. I need to do a teaching on the living dead, meaning that people are they're living but they're dead. They have no life. They just exist. They don't do anything. They don't try to do anything for fun. They don't enjoy life. They're just existing. I don't want to just be existing. I want to enjoy life. I want to live life. I want to have fun. I want to do the things that I need to do. I want to move in a phenomenal place, in a phenomenal way, and I need that to happen. And the only way that that's going to happen is by me allowing myself to really hone this on creating this map and really operating in it. The power of the map also will build self-trust and momentum, because you start operating from a level of trust now that you realize, like, hey, I was a little worried, I may be a little scared or uncertain about certain things, but now that I see the path that I'm moving in with this map, things are kind of looking different for me. I'm getting that momentum. I'm getting that feeling that life is really happening for me. And I'm really starting to see the results of the desired outcomes that I want to have. And that's the most important thing about life, is getting the desired outcomes, realizing that you can be, do, and have all that your heart desires. All that your heart desires. One of the things I love about the map is that when you actually start operating in the power of the map, it will turn your vision into measurable, actionable steps. Because everybody has to know where they want to go in life. Where am I going? And somebody says, hey, Issachar, I don't know where I want to go in life. I don't have a sense of direction. I don't know. Go ahead and click the button to schedule a consultation with me. Let's talk about it. Because everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a destiny. Everybody has dreams, goals, things that they want to bring to fruition, things that they want to see happen in life. Everybody has that. Some of us have buried them. Some of us have said, I no longer want to, uh, I no longer deal with those things anymore, but you need to go back and pick them up. One of the talks we had a couple of weeks ago, where I talked about your passion is your paycheck, we talked about sometimes when you bury your passion, you start to experience depression. Some of us need to dig back up our passions as we get ready to build that momentum when we start operating. A roadmap is a written, clear statement, structured and visual plan. It's a clear, written, structured, visual plan. And your visual plan will have to do with your vision, the big picture of where you're going. Where do I want to go in life? I want to be successful. Success doesn't happen by mistake, ladies and gentlemen. It happens on purpose. Your visual plan of your values, what truly matters to you: freedom, love, wealth, creativity. Your milestones, key markers of progress. Yeah, so some of you will, along the way, will have markers. Hey, I published my first book. Hey, I just created my first ebook, or I just did a lecture. I was a special guest on a podcast. We have all of these different milestones that we have along the way. Remember, life is not about destinations, it's about journeys. But you do celebrate the milestones. You do celebrate, yes. I was able to create my first book. I was able to speak at my first lecture, my first conference. I was able to get my first client. I was able to, all of these things are milestones. But you also are enjoying the journey of your map. Anybody who's ever went on a trip. So last year in October, my family, we took a road trip. We went from Atlanta to New York City, and we drove. We got a 15-passenger van, and we drove from Atlanta to New York, which is about 17 hours. Um, we stayed at an Airbnb for 4 days, but the journey from Atlanta to New York was phenomenal because we were talking, we were laughing, we were enjoying each other's company. Of course, we stopped to get gas, use the bathroom, all of those things. But the journey, it was the journey. When we got there, it was the journey of us experiencing each other as we were on our way to that destination. We get to New York, we have even more fun because now in New York, we're Times Square, we're going to all the sites, we're seeing the Statue of Liberty, we're seeing all of the Empire State Building, we're seeing everything in New York City. We leave New York, and we drive from New York to Philadelphia. We get to Philadelphia, we go see the Liberty Bell, we go to the steps that Rocky ran up. But here's the thing: we're on the way from New York to Philly. We're also, once again, enjoying each other's company. We're enjoying the journey. Yes, the destinations are phenomenal, but it's also the journey in between to get there. That's the most precious. You know, we get to Philly. We go from Philly to Washington, D.C. The journey from Philly to Washington, D.C. was phenomenal. Once again, we're enjoying each other's company. We're talking. We're laughing. We're enjoying the journey. We get to Washington, D.C. We go to see the White House. We go to see the Lincoln Memorial. We go to see all the things in D.C., right? The Pentagon. We see all of that, right? All the sights to see. We drive through Lower D.C. We see everything. We go to there's a spot over by the water. We go over by the water. They have all these restaurants. We enjoy the journey. So yes, there's milestones. Every city we went to, those will be considered milestones. We go to New York. We go to Times Square. We go to the restaurants. We see all the sights. We go to Philly. We go to D.C. And then from D.C. we go back to Atlanta. It's the journey. The journey, ladies and gentlemen, that happens. When you create a map that is written, clear, structured, and a visual plan, it will allow your resources, the people, the tools, and the knowledge you need. It will allow you to get those things. It will also be incorporated with a timeline. By when will you achieve these things? It also will talk about your rewards, which will mean how will I celebrate my milestones? Yes, my resources, the peoples, the tools, the knowledge that you need. You will get that. Then it will also talk about your timeline. By when will you achieve these steps? When will you achieve these steps? When will you achieve them? And then your rewards. How will you celebrate the milestones? Yes. Every city we went to, we celebrated. We went out to eat. We had fun. We did all of the, touristy stuff that you would do when you go to every city. It was very, very good. It was very good too. And it was the journey. It was the journey of all of us talking, laughing, talking about old times, talking about what we're doing in the future. But we were all together enjoying the journey on the way to our destination. Somebody says, all this time in my life, I've never had a roadmap. I've never had a life map. I never had any of this. All of this sounds, it sounds good. Somebody may say, I don't know if this works for me. It sounds really good. It sounds very promising. It sounds very uplifting. But when should somebody create their roadmap? When? I've always said that everything happens on purpose. There's no accidents. There's no mistakes. What does that mean? Everybody who's listening to this, that means that this is a time for you to start to create your map. This is a time for you, this season of your life, this place that you're in. I don't care if you're 85 years old. I don't care if you're 21 years old. If you're listening to this, this is a time for you to start that. Listen, when should you create a map? I believe at the start of a new season in your life. After a major event, anybody who just got a divorce, anybody who just moved, who just started a new business, maybe encountered a spiritual awakening, any major event that has taken place, I think it's a time to create a roadmap. Anytime you feel lost, stuck, or uninspired, yes, this is a time for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel stuck in life, if you feel uninspired, if you feel lost, you feel like everybody in life is moving ahead except for you. You feel like you're going around in circles. You feel stagnant. All you do is go to work, come home, go to work, and come home to pay bills, to go to work, to come home to pay bills, go to work, come home and pay bills, and that's it. That's all you do. You want to do something different in life. You want to move in your purpose. You want to move in your destiny, and you feel stagnant. You feel stagnant because you feel like, I've been doing this so long, how do I get out of it? How do I get off the hamster's wheel? How do I get off? Some may say they may want to do it yearly, quarterly, or monthly as a check-in. When you're creating a map, you may want to just do it a map yearly, quarterly, or you can even do it monthly. You should also do it whenever you feel your spirit calling you to upgrade your reality. Whenever you want to upgrade in life and you want to move to a different level and a different plateau, it's time to start mapping, ladies and gentlemen. I want to move in a new direction for 2026. I want to move into a new plateau. It's time for me to make that move. It's time for me to really align myself in that position. And so, yes, remember, a map is not once and done. It is alive, to be reviewed, to be revised, and refined regularly. So when you create a stone, it's not written. When you create a map, it's not written in stone. But it's always going to be constantly reviewed, constantly revised, constantly refined on a regular basis. And some of you may say, you told us when to create a map. You told us what the map is. It's mastery, assignment, pathway. You've given us the acronym. You laid all that stuff out. But why? Why do we need to create a map? Because you are a divine creator. You're not a drifter. The universe mirrors clarity and intention, not confusion and passivity. The reason you're creating a map, because having a map ensures that your life is purpose driven, not reaction driven. The why is because you deserve to arrive where your soul desires. There's a place that you need to be in life. There's a place that you need to go. As your conscious elevates, so do you. The why of creating a roadmap means to me, because a life of wandering is costly. Many of us sitting here right now can say, you know what, if I could go back to my early 20s, there's so many things I could say. They always say, what would you tell your 18 to 21-year-old self? What would you do if you had to go back? What would you, because of the mistakes you've made, of things that you shouldn't have done? Yeah, we understand that. But what happens is you don't want to live a life where you're wandering and you're just lost. You want to have dreams, goals. Many of us have told ourselves, oh, those are dreams, they'll never come to pass. Nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to want to hear what I have to say. And you're wrong. Many of you have books. You have stories inside of you. Many of you have gifts and talents that you were born with that you've never utilized, that you've never activated. And so when one asks the question, why, I have to say, one of the reasons I would create a map is so that my family, my legacy, my future generations depend on your clarity. They depend on my clarity. They depend on me passing down this knowledge. The I would say when you're creating a map, there's a few things you want to do. You want to write out your vision in vivid details. You know, what does your ideal day, life, and contributions look like? How do you feel? How do you serve, live, give? List your top 5 values. These will guide your decisions and boundaries. Everybody has values, what they value, and understand the reasoning why you have things that you value. Break your vision into milestones. Like, for instance, launch your business, write your book, pay off some debts, deepen your spiritual practices. Those would be considered uh, what we would say is breaking our vision into milestones, because those are the things that we want to do. You also, for every milestone, you want to write down the steps to achieve it. I got to write the book. I got to come up with a book cover. I got to do the chapters. You go through the whole motion of, all right, if I'm going to start a business, I'm going to go and give me an LLC. I'm going to get my operation agreements. I'm going to get an EIN number. I'm going to get a business address. I'm going to get a business phone number. You're going to go through the steps of what it takes to create a business, right? You're going to also you can't hang pictures up unless they're in frames. So you want to put timetables around things. Attach deadlines to your milestones. Remember, a goal without a date is a wish. Don't just say, I want to be successful in life, because now you have to define what success means. And you can be a success in life, but what do you want to be successful in? Because we're starting we're putting this in milestones, right? We're creating milestones. So what do I want to be successful in? I want to be successful in my marriage. I want to be a success as a parent. I want to be success as a entrepreneur. And so you start to really horn in on your skills and really start working into how do you do that? Because a goal without a date is a wish. And I'm not here to do wishes. I want to turn my part-time dreams into my full-time reality. List what you need, whether it's mentorship, money, training, spiritual alignment, accountability. You need to write down the things that you need. Ladies and gentlemen, writing is always the first level of manifestation. The things that you write down are the things that will definitely get you into the place where you need to be. And then you want to be able to operate in your map daily, reviewing your map each morning, and then asking, what step can I take today to align with my roadmap? You should be constantly moving within the parameters of your roadmap every day. You may want to do a monthly check-in. At the end of each month, access. What did I accomplish? What needs adjusting? What is my focus for the next month? These are the things that need to get done, ladies and gentlemen. Everything needs to be done in time management. And believe me, the structure will begin to change in your life. As you structure it in your mind and you start thinking like this, you'll see your life change. Because listen, we are walking mirrors. As you change your thoughts and your patterns, so does your life. You gotta celebrate and understand the different levels of refinement. Yes, celebrate your progress. Celebrate that you feel the momentum. You feel happy about this. You feel happy about your life. Some of you may say, you know what, before I heard this message, I was just wandering in the wilderness. I didn't have a sense of direction. But now that I'm kind of putting this together and listening to this over and over again, I went and downloaded the PDF, and I have all of these different things that I can really operate and start working with. I now look at things differently now. So now I refine my map as I grow. Yes, I refine it. I'm in a level of refinement. Nothing stays the same. And so I have to move in that position. I have to move in a position now where I see myself living the map. My steps are ordered, and I walk in divine alignment daily. I feel the gratitude as if my map is already my reality. Your map is your permission to step into your greatest self. This is your moment to align, to focus, and walk in purpose. Remember, you are the cartographer of your destiny. The road may curve, but the compass will keep you aligned. Creating your roadmap is an act of spiritual warfare against confusion and stagnation. Where you are here to live with intention, to leave a legacy, and to walk boldly in your purpose. And I heard Bishop Jordan say, Archbishop Jordan, Eben R. Jordan say this. He said, legacy is not what you leave, it's who you leave. And I thought that was very, very powerful because every time we think about legacy, we always think about what we're leaving. But legacy is not about what you leave, it's who you leave. And so that's why it's important that we get an understanding of this and we move and operate in this. I think that this is so powerful. I think that this is a powerful place that we're in that, I can really operate and move into some things that I need to move into. I can really see my life really elevating and going to the next level. Why? Because of everything that I'm involved in, everything that I'm obligated to be doing, to have, and to all of my heart desires. Some of you are in a marriage and you say, you know what, I need to put a roadmap together for my marriage because my marriage is stagnant. We don't do anything. We don't go anywhere. We don't have any fun. We're just there. And so I believe that you can resurrect, you can take your marriage to a higher level by creating a roadmap for the marriage. Yes, where do we want to go? Where do we want to be? We need to start going out, taking trips, doing vacations, going places, traveling the world, right? Pouring into each other, having date nights. What can we do to elevate each other, to give us the momentum to go in to do things? You'll be surprised at how powerful this is with your children, with your siblings, with your parents. The power of really making a map of where we're going as a family. Because when we do this map, we're creating generations to come. It keeps moving. Remember, nothing is set in stone. Everything is always refined, reviewed, and there's some adjustments that are going to be made. I believe that when you start to utilize this and start to work with this, you will understand how powerful this is. how amazingly powerful this really is. And I think that it will definitely be something that's unbelievably transcending into what you have it to be. But I think it's phenomenal that you're able to really do that and move into that. I think it's 100% phenomenal. Um, when I'm operating with my map, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to the choir because I'm working on my map too. You know, we're in the 7th month now. We're in July. We have about, as we said last month, we were at the midpoint of the year, the 6 months left. So what are we doing? Let's get the roadmap together and figure out how we're going to walk into 2026. What am I doing for the rest of the month of July? What am I doing in August? What am I doing in September, October, November, December? I need to know that. Why? Because I need to make sure I'm in position to get to where I'm going. My vision is clear and my steps are ordered. I'm focused, intentional, and purpose driven. I attract opportunities that align with my purpose. My map brings peace, direction, and confidence. Peace, direction, and confidence. Who in life doesn't need peace? Who in life doesn't need direction and the confidence? My life map is my act of faith. I create a life that reflects my highest self. I have the discipline to follow my map. Discipline. It's a discipline to follow the map. I release confusion and embrace clarity. Yes, I got to release confusion. Why? Because I don't want confusion is like moving with a blindfold. Because when you're confused, you're sort of what I would say disabled or paralyzed, so to speak. Because when you're confused, you in the midst of confusion, you get angry, your anxiety goes crazy, you start really getting frustrated because you're confused at what's going on. Where am I going? What's happening? There's all kind of things that may be running through your head and mind and different feelings that you feeling at that moment. But when you operate in clarity by operating through the map, it alleviates the confusion. I don't want to be confused no more in life. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, when you start operating in this map, it will bring a sense of peace, an inner peace, and an inner calmness to you. And what I mean by that is when you start seeing all this stuff that's going on in the world, yes, you feel the sympathy and you're empathetic to it, but at the same time, you're not letting it get to you to the point where you can't operate. You're still operating in your map. Why? Because my map is always going to allow me to move in mastery, move in my assignment through the pathways. That's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's about. I am grateful for the clarity my map provides. It gives me clarity. It gives me direction. It gives me stability. It gives me great stability. It allows me to operate and move into the things that I need. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am forever grateful. You are the divine architect of your life. This, de- designing each step with clarity and intention. Give yourself permission to create a clear vision for your life. I gotta be in a position to where I create a clear vision for myself, being able to see. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the architect of your life. And the architect is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. You're the architect. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Listen, go ahead, download the Creating Your Map to Life PDF. Just go click on the link, download it, work with it this week, work with it, meditate on it, use it, begin to operate and start putting your map together and start putting some things together that will help you align yourself and get you in the position to win in life. Winners always win. Losers will always lose. Winners will always win, because a winner is a winner from within first. You got to be a winner from within. And when you're a winner from within, then you can only attract what you are. You ever see people that you're like, oh man, they always win. They always win. Sometimes you think they're cheating because they always win. But no, a winner is a winner from within. And so if I'm a winner within, then I can only attract what I am. And by me attracting what I am, which means I'm always going to win, I'm a winner. And so I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I want you to move into this great level of knowledge and wisdom, raise your level of consciousness. Everybody start working on your maps this week. Let's move forward. Let's move into greatness. Let's move into the higher levels, the higher depths. Let's get ourselves in a position to become the best versions of ourselves. I want to thank all of you. I'm excited about your future. I'm excited about you having the ability now to save your time, energy, and your resources. Yes, there's no greater thing than to save time and energy. I don't know anybody here, but if you ever wasted your time or if you ever wasted your energy, oh my God. We have the ability to stop that today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on these maps. Let's start reshaping, redesigning our lives to move into this greater depth and this greater level of consciousness. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. If you want to give a donation to us, those of you that want to say, man, this is great. If you know anybody that needs to hear this message, go ahead and hit the share button, copy the link, email it to them, text it to them. Text it to 5 of your friends. Let them know that they need to start getting their life map together and they need to start working on it. Listen, I also want to give everybody the opportunity to give, to say, hey, listen, man, I enjoy your content. I enjoy what you do. I like to be a blessing to your ministry and to what you do. Here's what I want to do. There's 4 ways that you can give, whatever the gift is that your heart desires. No gift is too little. No gift is too big. Whatever it is that you want to give, there's 4 ways that you can give. The first way is going to be our Cash App, which is going to be TOESC. That's $TOESC. Our second way that you can give is going to be PayPal or Zelle. PayPal and Zelle are going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. That's going to be INFO at TOESC.org. And that's going to be for Zelle and PayPal if you want to give your donations or sow your seed into the ministry. And then also the last way you can give is going to be Venmo. Venmo is going to be Issachar Bey. It's going to be ISSACHARBEY at gmail.com. Those are the 4 ways that you can give. Once you go ahead and give your seed, we believe that you will receive a 100-fold return. And we speak it into existence that whatever you put your hands to do will succeed and will be made manifest in great ways. And so it is. We speak it into existence. I want to thank all of you that will take the initiative to start working on your life map. Yes, your life map. Somebody will say, you know what, when around the beginning and middle of 2025, it looks like you were kind of just all over the place. And now look where you are at the beginning of 2026. You know what happened? I met this guy named Issachar Bey. Somebody introduced me to him, and he had this talk about the life map. And I started messing around with it, and things started happening in my life. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is real. This can really happen to you. It's not by mistake. It's not by accident. It doesn't go because this person is this and this person is that. Everybody who can hear the sound of my voice, you have the ability to be, to do, and to have all of your heart desires. Get on the map and start working it. I want to also tell everybody this one thing. Your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.